So, Senator, you heard at the top of the show, I believe now the wheels of justice are turning in the right direction. You're seeing people held accountable, whether it's celebrities, whether it's bureaucrats, whether it's prosecutors. If you do something wrong, I think now the American people are feeling a little more confident that they could pay a price. Do you see it that way too?
Yeah, and I would go one step further. It's not only about punishing those people who are bad actors and may have manipulated government and used government to go after the president, but it's also about reforming the system so this doesn't happen again.
Right.
I like it when I hear President Trump say this should never happen to another president. This isn't just about President Trump. I'm going to be introducing legislation saying that the FISA court should never be used on a political campaign, should never be used on an issue group, right or left. We can't allow political speech to be stymied by a secret court. It just should never happen again.
That's interesting because Bill Barr says now everybody has to, I guess, contact him before they start initiating a counterintelligence investigation into a political campaign or any sort of politically charged operation. I think that's maybe a good first step, but you want to take that a step farther. Let me just ask you, now that we've had the trial in the Senate and the president's been acquitted, what's the temperature like in the Senate? Is Romney being treated well? When you walk by Chuck Schumer, do you guys stare daggers at each other? What's the mood like now?
You know, I think people are fairly mature about this, and there's always less contention than you actually think there is. People do act civilly to each other. You know, I work with people across the aisle on a variety of issues, so I think it actually isn't as bad as it's made out to be. And the reason I mention that is there isn't this seething anger, whereas on the internet, you know, you want to see anger, get on Twitter, get on Facebook. There's so much anger out there, and we do need to diffuse it some because we have, you know, people being attacked in restaurants. You know, I know Steve Scalise well from the baseball team, and he almost died from an angry Bernie Sanders supporter. So we need to not let it spread out to people that we're so angry we can't talk to each other.
We have a guy later in the show who almost was hit by a van in Florida by a deranged anti-Trump radical. So you're saying that Romney's allowed to sit at the Senate lunch table with you guys?
Oh, and I'm not divulging whether he's allowed to sit at the table or not. But no, I think the thing is I've told him I disagreed with the vote. But, you know, I've been an outlier. I've been against war sometimes when my caucus is for war. I've been for privacy sometimes when my caucus hasn't been. And the thing is even the president, when I talk to President Trump, he's like, oh, I know you believe it. I know you believe that. But the thing is, I support President, I think, on the important things. When there are partisan attacks on the president, I'm 110% in his corner. But when I have a policy difference, I think he appreciates it because I'm not afraid to stand up and give him my opinion.
Well, one of the things that happened in that Senate trial is that you went up there. I guess you may have named the whistleblower. You named a name that many people believe is the whistleblower. And that video got out there. No one knows
who the whistleblower is.
No one knows for sure. Right. It's all over the place, but no one knows for sure. Not only did Chief Justice Roberts shut you down once or twice, but the video of a sitting U.S. senator on the Senate floor was censored by a big tech company in California, YouTube. How dangerous do you think that is, and what are you going to do about it, if anything?
I'm going to give them a whole heaping full of criticism. I'm going to lay into them and say, YouTube, if you want to act as if you're not biased, if you want to act as if you want conservatives to use your portal and be part of it, you better treat people fairly, because this looks like you've chosen sides. I did not call anybody the whistleblower in my speech on the floor. I named two names, but I didn't say either one of them were a whistleblower. I just said they worked together, and there are reports that they were plotting the impeachment years in advance. I think that ought to know. Was it legal what they were doing? At the very least, they should not work for the president or in the executive branch if they're trying to undermine the president. That would sound not just disloyal, but perhaps unlawful.
Right. Well, we're not saying the names of the alleged whistleblower here on Fox or on Waters World, but I appreciate your honesty, Senator. And maybe one day Romney can come back and sit at the lunch table. Thank you very much.
Thank you.